For the first time since the Russian invasion, Moscow claims to have used an AI-powered anti-air defense system to shoot down a Ukrainian aircraft. What this means is that there was no human involvement in tracking, detecting and shooting down the air target. For the Ukrainians who've launched their counteroffensive, this cannot be good news. The best of the NATO weapons are being tested out on the battlefields of Ukraine. And although the West is not willing to admit it yet, little by little, with each passing month, NATO's involvement in this war in terms of training, weapon supplies and intelligence sharing is increasing, even though the NATO troops are not directly involved yet. American General Mark Milley's assessment of the Ukrainian counteroffensive could not have been more honest. He's admitted that the counteroffensive is going to be a very difficult fight that will take considerable time. But what no one knows is how all of this violence and bloodshed will end. The Russia-Ukraine war has been fought with the most lethal and the most high-tech weapons so far. But for the last 17 long months, the decision on when to pull the trigger was always made by a human. And now, for the very first time, Russia claims to have used a fully automated air defense system powered by AI to have shot down a Ukrainian aircraft. According to the Russian state media, on the 24th of May, Russia deployed its S-350 Vityaz air defense system that had been tweaked to be directed by an artificial intelligence code to autonomously detect, track and destroy Ukrainian air targets. And all this without any human involvement and direction. Russia reportedly wants to use this to bring down Ukrainian drones that have given Kiev a certain edge on the battlefield. The S-350 Vityaz air defense system can be operated in both active and passive radar modes simultaneously. It can engage hostile aircraft, drones, ballistic and even cruise missiles with an impressive range of 150 kilometers. The Vityaz missiles can bring down projectiles that travel at speeds of over 2 kilometers per second. Despite these impressive capabilities, what has really concerned a lot of military strategists is the fact that AI has now been allowed complete autonomy in deciding when to pull the trigger. But weapons powered by AI aren't exactly new. Last October, Israel had made headlines for installing an AI-powered gun at the Al Arub Palestinian refugee camp. South Korea is said to have set up a similar contraption along its border with North Korea, while the United States had used AI-powered guns during its 2-decade-long wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And now with the use of AI-powered weapons in the Russia-Ukraine war, no one can be certain on how many lives will be lost because of a piece of software that is deciding to now pull the trigger. But what is certain though is that defense manufacturers are expecting some pretty big-ticket orders worth billions of dollars in the next few months. The CEO of Rheinmetall, a German defense manufacturer, was candid enough to admit this.
We expect many orders to be placed in the coming weeks and months. Many billions of euros to be placed also for Rheinmetall. We are on the right track. We are producing artillery shells almost at full capacity because the demand is there. The international demand is very high. And as said before, we will boost our production from 450,000 to 600,000 rounds next year. We expect to work at full capacity next year.
So the defense manufacturers who are working at full capacity this year also expect to work at full capacity next year. This must give you an indication of how long the Ukrainian counteroffensive is likely to drag on for. While defense manufacturers strike deals in air-conditioned offices, the soldiers on the battlefield are fighting a desperate war. As this bodycam footage of a Ukrainian soldier will show you, on the battlefield, death lurks at every corner. The destruction of the Nova Kakhovka dam has meant that the common people are suffering from an acute shortage of water. 72-year-old Helena from a frontline village in Ukraine describes her situation.
The situation is, I wish I could use swear words. The situation is terrible. That's about it. We have 2 cubic meters of water in the garden container, maybe 1.5. If we use it sparingly, there are 4 of us. I really do not know.
Bakhmut, which before the war was a bustling city of over 70,000 people, has been reduced to an empty shell. But the fighting is still underway, and Ukraine is trying to claw its way back. Efforts by the Pope, Emmanuel Macron, and China in the past have had no success in establishing peace. And now, a peace delegation of the African nations is trying to broker a settlement.
But we want to engage so that a peaceful solution is found. So we welcome President Zelensky's openness that there should be further engagements. And as African leaders, we stand ready and willing to have further engagements. Thank you very much.
Will there be a negotiated settlement? And what exactly will be the shape of this negotiated settlement is hard to predict. But what is certain though is that so long as Vladimir Putin and the leaders of the NATO military alliance refuse to reach middle ground and negotiate, more and